Greetings, greetings, greetings. Good morning, good morning. Greetings, greetings. Good morning, good morning. I have to I'm in an undisclosed location, so I have to do my live stream a different way this morning. Good morning to all. God damn. Oh God, I appreciate you all, man. I had a real interesting evening. Very interesting. I tend to watch a lot of. I like watching TV interviews, and you know, I did a little catch up, and I was watching Mike Tyson. Actually, that was last night on Jimmy Kimmel. And you know what? There was a time with Mike Tyson where I was like, oh, shit, I don't think Mike Tyson's off. I think Mike Tyson's it's kind of like a genius. But yesterday he was looking real slow yesterday. I was like, oh, man. I think, it's funny because my mom's calling. It's like, oh, make sure you watch Mike Tyson on Jimmy Kimmel. And it was a little disturbing. You ever, watch somebody, right? And as you're listening to them, you're, being afraid for them. like as you're listening to them, you're sort of uncomfortable at the same time, right? So as I'm listening to Mike Tyson, I'm like, this just kind of whack. Like, you know what I mean? It's weird. It was strange. Sometimes it's strange when you hear, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nubia Blake, goddamn. And shout out to the Green Vegan, goddamn. I know the audio's different. Damn. Shout out to the Garden Scientists. They ain't playing. I got two members that popped up early. Yeah, because this is a topic that it's gonna have some clarity. It's kind of in the defense of a woman, so be wary of how this may turn out. But anyway, as I was telling everybody, I was watching Mike Tyson on Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel's interviews because he's a little groupie-ish. Um, And it's hard to have groupie. Well, I guess they got to do what they got to do because they know they have to ask what the people want to know, right? So people like to know groupie conversations, and it was a little, it was a little disturbing, whatever. So anyway, I'm listening to Mike Tyson. He does this one man show, and I was told from one of my great friends, Peter Martin, one of my guys that own this theater, and good friend of mine for many years. Damn, how many years are we pushing now? 90. Damn, we're pushing almost 30 years. So anyway, my guy, I remember him telling me, man, did you ever see Mike Tyson on this one man show? It's pretty interesting. And I'm like, nah, you know? And I clicked onto some old clips of it. So after I watched the interview with Jimmy Kimmel, I was like, I don't know, Mike Tyson is a little I'm like, you know how it's never good to look at somebody low vibrational or less. It's like I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. No disrespect, but you ever look at somebody less than you and you compare yourself? You're like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, you got to catch yourself with that. Like, nah. So it's like if he could do it, I could do it. And I try not to look at people that way because then it's like, well, he didn't really do much, so I don't want to. So anyway, as I'm watching a one man show, I'm like, damn, I can do this shit, but I did it already, right? I'm like, but he's just telling stories, and I think Mike Tyson's stories people want to hear because people think Mike Tyson's retarded. Let me just keep it a stack. So when they hear him talk, they're like, "Oh wow, he's pretty funny." So what I did was, I got deeper. So I went and watched. Eddie Murphy popped up on my algorithm, and you know, I went up there on the algorithm and checked it out, whatever, and looked at Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy, I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan. Up until recent years, I don't like Netflix Eddie Murphy. Does that make sense? I don't like Netflix Eddie Murphy. Netflix Eddie Murphy to me is just it's like he. In other words, let me back it up a little bit. I didn't want to watch the Mike Tyson interview only because I didn't want him to talk about Jake Paul, and I know that Jake Paul fight was just like the end of his. I don't look at him the same because the Jake Paul thing was just a little money grab, and to see this old man, it was just very non-inspiring, and I think he kind of lost his legacy. And I remember he did this interview with this young chick. Um, that little girl that be doing interviews on YouTube. She's a little black girl, whatever. And I know when they talk to her, they got to watch what they do. Like I just seen Coyle Ray. I'll get to that, but I seen Coyle Ray just do an interview for for this little young chick, and she had her clothes all on and shit. I'm like, yeah, bitch, why don't you be a slut now? You know what I mean? So if anybody watches what's her name? What's that girl's name? The little young chick. She's like a little kid. She does interviews with big celebrities. Forgot her name. So anyway, I'm watching Eddie Murphy. I mean, as I watched Mike Tyson, I remember he said on there, he was like, "Oh, I think he mentioned something about, um, how do you feel about your legacy?" He's like, "Well, there's no legacy. When I'm dead, I'm gone. Like, you're dead, you know." Yo, it kind of, yo, I'm telling you, you got to watch this out here because we are sensitive. One bad interview can destroy a person. I was like, what is it about Mike Tyson I am digging? And it was that interview, recent interview he did like last year when he did that Jake Paul fight, or maybe it was it before it. And he said he's not worried about a legacy. He doesn't believe in legacy. Once you're dead, you're dead. And it was just like, come on, bro. Why you telling this little young girl some shit like that? That's not true, dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Tyson, remember? Then he started to look like the foo he is, and it was like, oh yeah, Mike Tyson's still a foo. That's what we call him here in New York, a foo. So, uh, but anyway, after I watched him on there, I watched Eddie Murphy, and it was just like it was another painful interview. I hate to see these legendary. I hate to see these legendary people that sold their souls to become, whiny interviewers that's talking about their homes and their riches and you know, I wish we could have somebody to get deep in Eddie Murphy and let him pop a tear. We see Mike Tyson cry a million times, but we need somebody to pop a tear. Um, Jimmy Kimmel, my mother loves Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is just, I just can't get in a late night TV show host because most of them are just goofy. And I guess they got to squeeze in an interview in 10 minutes because they don't do a long interview, right? So anyway, I'm watching Eddie Murphy on it as well. And it was just it was just whack. Um, and it was just weird, right? So I think so he's talking about Eddie Murphy and I know how I heard you have this big roof in your house and it has this big screen. And you could open the roof or some shit like that with a remote control. And it's like, okay, well, he deserved that. You know what I mean? Ain't like Eddie Murphy's money ain't shit retarded long. You know what I mean? We know this because Eddie Murphy's Eddie Murphy. But what happened? And that's another thing too. Like I feel that a lot of men don't want to face the fact that, and I'm going to be honest with this because I'm guilty to this too. I remember years ago I was coming into this customer's home, and I remember there was this gentleman that opened the door. I would never forget this, and he took a long time to come downstairs because he had to come up there with those little things. I don't know if y'all know those little chairs that bring you up and down the stairs. Um, the mechanical ones, the ones that literally bring you up there like a conveyor, like a hoist, like a elevator. So I remember he got downstairs. He said, "Listen, young man, you don't want to get old." I said, "Why not?" He said, "No, you don't want to get old. You want to get older. Being old is terrible." And it was like, oh, so he was showing me, as far as like, the things he has to do in order to walk and shit like that. So it was pretty dope how he broke that down. But the other day, there was a a customer that I had, and I use these on customers a lot. So they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting old." Especially the white people, they always say, right? So it's like, I'm like, "Nah, you're getting older." He's like, "Oh, it's the same thing," and I'm like, So I'm stuck a little bit because I'm like, it's really not, But he was the first customer because I told this to customers for years. Like he was the first one to actually say, "Oh, it's the same thing." So my whole thing is like, if you're old and you feel old, then let them feel old. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't I can't put that on me. That's on you. That's what you feel. You know what I'm saying? So he's entitled to that. If he feels old, he feels old. That is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What can I do? I just gotta make sure whatever that man told me years ago, I take that concept. You can't change everybody. Um, but also his wife, nice looking older woman, but wife is a little younger, nice, more shape, fine. She gave me a nice hug. I think she kissed me on my neck. But they're like customers, they're customers that I have from a long time ago. And the customer's a teacher, beautiful, nice looking woman too. But anyway, what I noticed is I'm like, wow, like, is that what the customer was telling me years ago about being old? Like not being able to get on top of your woman anymore and slam dance and you know what I mean? Like that's ugh. So in regards to Mike Tyson and Eddie Murphy, no matter how much we're like, oh, they look good to keep, are they old? Is that what's changing them? Like Mike Tyson fought nearly 60 years old, knowing he was just to throw away a fight to make $20 million. Was that enough to throw your legacy away? um Eddie Murphy, every time you see him, he's doing a special for Netflix. It's just like, yo, bro, can you do something for Showtime? Would HBO pick you up? No, because you're old now and they don't have a replacement. There's no black comedian that they could alternate to. There's none. And that's scary. It's scary to me when you see situations when you're like, damn, like I want to be inspired by that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be inspired by looking at Mike Tyson and doing a one man show because that's the thing you could get on stage. I want to look at Eddie Murphy and know that wow, Eddie Murphy said he was going to be a star when he was younger. He did speak on that too on the Jimmy Kimmel, but it was just like, yeah, but you're so whack now. Like he's trying so hard to be funny, and he's very, very, very he's a diva. You know what I mean? If you ever listen to Eddie Murphy's interviews, they got to be very careful what you say to him, because you know what I mean. And I guess with Jimmy Kimmel, they're just going to stay groupie status, so they're not going to change too much. But needless to say, I was I was really uninspired by both. It was a little depressing. I'm not going to hold you, and the reason why is because I don't think men, especially black men, embrace being old or accept the fact that they're old. It's not that they're washed up, but you're old, right? So as a man and you can't do what you used to do, what does that mean? Right? I mean, and naturally, you know, do we know a comedian in their 60s like Eddie Murphy that's actually funny? Would but then again, I believe that Richard Pryor, um, Red Fox, all of these people were funny in their older years, and they were more discovered when they were older, especially Red Fox. So, what made Eddie Murphy so boring? What made Mike Tyson to be so? What is the purpose? Is it just the time we're living in? You get so rich, it waters you down. You have so much, and then you lose your hunger, or is it that old age just kicks in and it just changes? So I say all this today because there's been something going on, and these topics are very hard to discuss because YT is very deep on the wording. but I got to speak on it. I'm very deep into the word. As I slut and whore, but I've been doing this big layout lately about you know women of things that you need to do because you're looking crazy out here, right? And I'm doing an experiment, a self experiment that I went on for a month. I said, what I want to do, I'm just going to look at nothing but thought and culture for a whole solid month. Anybody follow my Instagram but check he ain't lying. I want the algorithm to pour it in. And I want to see the ups and the downs that I go through. I want to see if I'm inspired. I must tell you, I haven't got inspired, but I definitely went through different mechanisms of mood swings and shit like that. And I'll get to that. Um, if you ever heard that social media is bad for your mental health, it is. It no question about it. It definitely is. If you heard that, you could be inspired by other people, um, that depends. You can't be inspired when the element is there, right? So the element on social media that I put in my algorithm for the last month, or going on a month, um, has to do with the woman, the sexy woman, the everybody is getting in front of a camera and just pouring it all out. And this ain't even just a black thing. So, as I was telling black women, in regards to the black woman, I've noticed that the race, it caught the bad end of it. Because now it's like women are trying all these different things of what men want, cooking, cleaning, and rubbing his feet and rubbing his back. And you know, I don't think women understand who um, who really, really would, who are people really? You know what I mean? I don't think that black women understand at this level in comparison to the non-black woman. Um, Run with this, what I'm about to say. The only way you're going to compete with a non-black woman as a whole, you're going to have to go lady. You're going to have to go class with it. This element now could change your attitude. It could change your physical. Could change your presentation. Could change all of the top 5 things plus that I spoke on in a previous video. Um, it, that's the master class you need to challenge yourself to. Uh, we are living in a time now that, in order for women to really understand what keeps a man, you're going to be real shocked at what I'm about to tell you. You can hear guys get on the internet, men just want peace and all that shit, whatever, whatever. That they're talking about isolated situations. That's not what you. Because then you may hear that and say, "Well, I'm no drama, and I'm at peace, and I bring my man and rub his feet." No, he doesn't even know what he wants, but he knows what he likes. Write that down. He doesn't know what he wants, but he knows what he like. And I'm going to tell you one thing about a man. I want you to really jot this down and hear what I'm about to tell you. What you seeing in this current condition of these women, it's almost like it's AI, because I can't believe the amount of women from all over, especially non-black ones, that promote being a slut. You know, oh, that's the girl's name, Shazzy. So Shazzy does interviews, right? Coyle Ray did an interview. I just seen her pop up with Shazzy, and she got these baggy pants on and little Van sneakers. She looks like a regular little girl and some makeup. She's like a little innocent kid, but she Shazzy's interviewing this girl. And if Shazzy watches one of Coyle Ray's interviews, it's going to be nothing but being a nasty slut and a whore. So now the non-black woman, she knows that this is her way. She's sexy, she's exotic. What other way to get to a man? Speedy delivery. It's like a high, right? Like Nobody wants to deal with a slow high. You want that high to hit quick, right? So the way to get a man's attention um, is going to entirely be uh, being nasty, looking nasty, being a whore. Look, every presentation that a prostitute has in the street. I'm talking about the one that's walking the street and all the stuff she's wearing. That's what men like. Unfortunately, he does. Men love that. Man, there's not a man on this earth, and even if he says he's lying, there's not going to find no appeal or attraction to that in a naked, slutty woman. You understand? Queen Vicky said, Nate, do you believe in a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets? Um, he wants both, man. He doesn't, when I say both, he wants you to be not lady in the street. No, 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 no. Them days is over. Shout out to Hombre. Those days are over. When I say both, he wants a freak in the sheets and a freak in the street. That's what men want right now. That's the climate that we're living in. He does not want a lady in the street. I don't think ladies are suffering unless a lady in the street and a freak in the bedroom. She's suffering because how they gonna know she's a freak? The one that's getting the burn in this climate that we are living in, unfortunately, is a whore. I don't care if you're a porn. There was a time when a porn star was looked down and frowned upon. Not anymore, because now everybody got their girlfriend sucking their dick on a camera and posting it on Pornhub. That's no longer frowned upon. How is it? It can't even be frowned upon because the average good-looking woman, in order to be appealing, she has to look slutty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I looked at Coyle Ray in that interview with Shazzy. She looked like nothing. I'm like, yo, she like a little kid. If anybody would, she like a little kid with makeup. She like a little boy. But when she's doing all that freaky shit, she looks amazing. Um, Shout out to Kim Thompson. I'm telling you, that shit is dead. That's that's why you see these women doing that. It ain't even an algorithm. I almost thought it was AI. I said it can't be this amount of women going crazy in front of these cameras, just doing nothing but slut shit. Nah, shout out to Humbre, man. It's all good, bro. Um, Listen, listen. I'm not going back on my words now. I think the best alternative for a woman, especially a black woman, is to go the classy route, because classiness presents style. There's no style with being a slut. There's no style. There's no style even. There's no style needed. You don't have to have no style to be a slut. You have to have style to be a lady. Write that down. There's no style required to be a slut. Any woman can do that. I don't care if she's old, young, fat, skinny, paraplegic. It doesn't to be a whore. Anything, if you can get in front of a camera and be a hot mess and just promote pornography, that's appealing to a man. All men. And that's why the views are up. That's why she's getting the comments. That's why men are finding new categories every day. That's why you're seeing these old senior women jumping on the. It's disgusting. Now listen, I'm almost finished with my experiment. I just want to get a solid month of doing this, and it's a little rough. It's almost like the guy that had to go with the McDonald's and starve himself and just eat. Excuse me, just eat McDonald's for 30 days. Today is a good day. There's some low vibrational days because another thing that it does to men negatively, you're always gonna have your mind in the gutter of a fantasy world. Like you'll never be able to look at a woman without passionately thinking about her in an X-rated form. Now some men be like, well, we all look at that. No, no, worse. Like it's worse because when it's pushed through a digital platform, whether it's porn, whether it's Instagram. People don't understand Instagram is worse than porn because Instagram, the problem is that you're visually getting these untold women being presented and you're able to look at them and it's interactive because it's on your phone, right? So that plays with you, right? It's like it's equivalent to a woman sending you a video with her putting on clothes. And it's personal because she sent it to you, but in the interactive world of social media, none of these women even know you're looking at them. So it's sort of like being a peeping tom. You're like looking in all these women's mirrors in this big building, and you're going from window to window, and you're watching them take off their clothes. You can't go into your house and be inspired by looking at that. You know what I mean? So when this experiment's over, I'm totally gonna have to switch my my algorithm. I'm gonna switch it back to trains, and stuff like that, my hobbies. But it's really really rough, man. I'm just deadly deadly rough. But that's what it is. But yeah, to answer your question, no more lady in the street. Now, the woman I'm probably saying to me, well, Nathaniel's kind of messed up. Why are you telling us to be a woman if we're not going to get no attention? I'm like, trust me when I tell you, it ain't going to last forever. That's why I'm telling you, get on that wave of a lady. Get on that wave. Switch the game up because um, this shit right here is there's nowhere else to it. It's just going to get worse. So, with a lady, you can jump on it. That's going to be the next wave because now you're going to challenge all these sluts now if they can be a lady, if they can be graceful, if they can be stylish. Style is a big thing, man. And style. I could look at a person and tell she's just being a slut versus this woman got style. And I very, 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 very run into that. Matter of fact, in my daughter's school, there's like a maybe one or two teachers, maybe. And I'm not, and when I tell you one or two, I'm just being nice, that actually have style. The rest of them are just everything else but that. You know what I mean? Style. Like you could be a plain Jane and have and actually go to a thought. You know what I mean? Anybody can do that shit, but style, not every woman could pull that off. The other day we were doing a video. We were talking about the Wife School podcast. I was having a hard time because she doesn't. I was having a hard time really presenting a look for her because she doesn't have a style. She doesn't have any style. So if you don't have any style, how do you make the Wife School podcast appealing? Well, you're going to dress up like a hoe. It's easy to do that. You know what I mean? But a real stylist is going to have you got to be a real stylist to transform that woman and do a makeover. But turning a woman into a slut and getting her garter belts and a whip and chain, you could do that to anybody. So that's the answer for that. Um, Hold on one second. Nubia Blake said, um, I love what you said about being on a classy frequency. I've been sharpening my etiquette, getting into new hobbies, and upgrading my wardrobe. Now, right, that's the way to go. Now, I know some women are going to be like, well, damn, then nobody's going to pay me attention. Let me tell you something. If you want to be ahead of a trend, if you want to be ahead of a movement, get with it. Believe me when I tell you, that's the level you got to go through right now. You got to learn how to wear your clothes right instead of being a whore. Only clothes you should be wearing that you could, I guess you could get away with just as fitting your body is leggings. There's no such thing as baggy leggings, but don't fry away from little sweatpants that may be a little loose too. Um, because you got to look at the time now where appeal, if a person, when a woman has grace and class, you could see right through that. Like that, I don't care what she wears, she's gonna execute it. But to be a slut, you take away the class, you eliminate it completely. I'm telling you that right now. There's nothing classy about a woman that's slutty. Yes, you do appeal to men. Yes, we all are attracted to that. Even me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm not attracted to none of the shit I'm looking at. But it don't make it right. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a real good look that you're doing that. Um, so she said male or she said Males or men, both. Males and men both love that shit. They both love it. Males and men, I like it. You know what I'm saying? I do. But I only like it because it's just typically we're men, still we're still males, right? I'm still a male. Um, I love a nasty slutty, but look, I found Ray, and she's the young chick in the game. I found her more attractive when she's a slut than when she's girly. You know, because girly, she looks like a little bum. She looks like a little kid. So when she's slutty, she looks more like a woman, right? So that's something that she needs to fix because now her image now she had to go straight hardcore with that horse shit, and she had to go sexy red. She had to go all there. You know what I mean? It's just pretty sad, but she went there, and it's actually working. Um, you know, I don't encourage it, but I'm just saying where she's at right now is kind of sad. Hey, Nate, what's your take on a 47-year-old woman getting mad and referring to you as a nigga? A 47-year-old woman getting mad and referring to you. You talk about somebody called you a nigga that's 47? I mean, I unless she's white, I wouldn't take it personal. I mean, is she Latin or is she black? You gotta tell me if she's Latin or is she black. Shout out to Shay Loves. Um, I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? Physically appealing. If you want to capture a man's heart fast, you got to be a hoe, a whore. Fuck her, a whore. You know what I mean? You got to suck his dick, you gotta lick his balls, lick his ass. You got to let her fuck you up that. You got to do all that nasty shit. Niggas fall in love with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you want to have the grace of a lady, you can't do none of that. You see the difference? If you hold yourself up in high regard, that shit, all that other shit is that you doing ain't gonna mean you can't call yourself a lady and you do all that. It's all about this. If you want to catch any man's heart, you got to be a slut. But if you want to catch a particular man's heart, um, and you really, really genuinely know you are a lady deep beyond, then that's different. That's a whole entire different part of the universe right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, so basically, there's only two ways to appeal to a man. You're either going to do it fast or slow. Um, the what's the peeping tom analogy is spot on about social media. Yes, so the peeping tom analogy, right? Um, hold on, why did I just go? Hold on. So the peeping tom analogy, right? What that comes from is, you know, when I was younger, there was this neighbor, and I had binoculars, so there was another building across from us. Right? So I used to look in this woman's window every night. It was lesbians, right? So this woman used to go to bed naked. And one was a manly looking skinny bitch. And I ain't paying that no mind. Then there was a big thick whatever she was, right? I don't remember. I don't know what she was, but I knew every night what they used to do is turn the T. They used to turn the T. Okay, they'll turn out the light, and then the TV would be on. True story. So the TV would be on, and then she would get in the bed like clockwork with that big fat ass and everything, naked, fully naked. I love a woman that sleeps nude. I think that shit is extremely sexy. Like, and then she'll get in the bed, and then I guess when they about to get it on, they would turn the TV off, and I'm like, damn. Then it was complete blackness. So it would be light. I'm like, okay, they didn't get there yet. Then once you see that damn light go off and the TV's on, the bed was bare. They didn't get in it yet. She used to get in that bed every night, and I used to watch that shit. My point is, it didn't inspire me because I remember my dad caught me one time. He was like, "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "No." I was like, he said, "Man, that's some sick shit." I remember he told me it's some sick shit. How you watch it? So that's a peeping tom, man. And I never forget he called me that, man. That shit was embarrassing. It was terrible to hear your dad call you a peeping Tom. And when I tell you this was like in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, every night, man, I used to look at that woman. Every night like clockwork. They used to go to bed at the same time. So what ended up happening was clearly I knew what I was into. I mean, I knew at the end of the day whether she was thick or skinny. Once I see a naked woman, I'm a man, so I'm gonna look. So social media is worse. My Instagram right now, like I said, I got a few more days before I can do a full month of this. Um, it is really like I rather had went. Well, I can't say that because I would have made my health bad, but when they did that whole thing, the documentary would go on a whole month of just eating McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and seeing how much he got fat and all the diseases, how his blood pressure went up. This shit fucks with your everything. Um, Social media can be very good for certain things, but when it's involved with things that you can't touch, it's a problem. Um, if you can't make these things that you watch on social media reality, it's gonna be a problem. And yeah, so yeah, it was very, very disturbing. And to this day, I never forget when he said that. It just fucked with me now just saying it. So yeah. Um she says yes, the BBL was a big thing, it's starting to fade and it's becoming right. That shit's fading, I'm telling you. So um what I find extremely attractive on a level of a man, is that a woman that I can see doesn't have any attributes of a slut, and now you have to go back to the old school way of imagining her. I think that's dope. Like the baggy clothes, I like baggy clothes now. I think baggy things are real cute on women, like little baggy jeans and the little bottoms are rolled up and a little baggy denim coat. I like things that could take away, like, it's almost like how the Muslims do their women, right? Where they have to wear the gowns and stuff, but they don't even care that. They're starting to get surgeries on their face and shit like that and all that. But anyway, um, especially Muslims because they put a lot to their lips and their eyes because they trying to get slick now. Like we can't show our bodies, but we're gonna make our face grammars. But I am guilty enough to know now, with understanding friends and family members of men that uh have sold their families and shit like that. All of these things have a lot to do with men being fed. You want to feed a man, you feed him with whore. You just can't go wrong. I don't give a fuck if he's gay, as long as the gay nigga is a whore. It's just his nature. Once he's fed anything on a level of nasty, he's in. I'm telling you, it totally does. So back to the whole situation with the the um, the peeping tom. Every time you're looking at a woman showing her feet or turning around or not even twerking anymore, just anything nuded. She's walking in with a garter belt. She's walking in her panties. You see a camel toe. That every time you look at that, you got to think about how is that going to work for you by the time you're in the street in the middle of Manhattan in Times Square. Like you'll never look at a woman again and be able to appreciate her because you're going to look at her. You're going to be a pervert because now your mind's already you can't see what you see, you know, like you see on social media, right? So now it's sort of like being with a woman and you having sex with her and you can't really get on. So now, in order to beat properly, you got to watch an adult film because you know how the adult film takes you straight there. When a real woman can't do that anymore, that's the problem. Now you have a problem with your libido. So it's so early because they don't, they're already researching. They're still researching the word love. You know, these people don't even know what the word love really means. So if they're just researching the word love, and now we know that we have free internet porn with mixed up with women online with shit. Just 2 years ago, just a lot of the shit that the women are doing on social media, they couldn't even do it. They would block the video. Now they let it go. I know this for a fact because there's certain videos that I put on YouTube that I could not share that you guys are gonna see. Y'all see these music videos that's going up. I produced all that. Like I directed all that. Excuse me. The music is the artist, which I give credit to, but I directed the videos. All of these videos you see with women, a solo woman, and it's just music playing. Um, I direct that. But there's one or two I'm about to show. I was not able to show that shit before, and now YouTube allows me. It already went through the ringer. Just 3 years ago, I tried and it was like it was inappropriate, and now they allow it. So you know what I mean? It's crazy. Um, it's a shame I have to look at older women like Majori Harvey for style example as actual stylists. Right, Majori Harvey is a prime example of style. She's a very great example of that because she doesn't get dotty with it. As a matter of fact, if she went dotty with it, it would dilute her style because there's nothing. It takes a lot to be stylish. A lot of women can't do. Most people, men and women, can't be stylish. So men, on the other hand, they got to throw their head into the ringer by having money. So a man has to have money to be appealing to a woman, and a woman to be appealing to a man expeditiously. You got to be a slut. So Majori Harvey is kind of an old school example. She would be more of the example from the old school because even if she goes, like I said, if she went slept with it, it would dilute her. That's why her daughter calmed down. I don't know if y'all know now her daughter's starting to act now. She's trying to calm that image down because the mother probably told that shit's on the way out the door. Now, when it's never going to be played out to be a whore, but what will be played out is once more women are embracing style, it's going to push it out because now it's going to challenge all the sluts now because they have nowhere to go. Like being once you start dressing like that and appearing on social media that way, you're at the bottom. Nobody's dancing no more. They're doing a couple of challenges for music, but nobody's really doing that now. Like it's just ridiculous. Now it's to the point where every female black rapper has to be a whore. Now shit is just it's really oversaturated. So you can't be special when you're doing that. That's why Ice Spice is having such a hard time now because what she once did now Lotto can do, and now you got every rapper that comes in the game right now they can do the same. No rapper's trying to be classy. You can't be a classy rapper and sell a record, and you just can't. Not now. You know what I mean? There was a time that you could be rough, but you can't be classy. Um, like even understanding the color theory puts you on a different level with clothes. Color theory is another thing. You know what I mean? That's another thing too. There's some women out here that don't even know how to style their hair. You know, and I'm speaking in terms of color. Some women don't know how to wear certain colors of purple, certain colors of red. Like people don't understand there's certain colors that's not good for certain complexions. That shit's a real thing. So the man is screwed because there's no man representing that. All men want to do now is, try to be young. You know what I mean? So style is a real hard thing in the men's life, right? So it's really bad. So hold on, Miss Top. So shout out to Miss Top. Um, said she's black. Nate, it's about the 40 that called you. I don't understand that question too much, hombre. A 47-year-old black woman that called you a nigga. I mean, I don't see the offense in that. Like, why did she call you a nigga? Like, was you arguing with her? You got to give me a little bit more to that because I don't think you would have asked me that question if she was Latin. So give me a little bit more. Um, Green Vegan says, why can't women be both? You can be a lady and shut it down. No, you cannot. No way. A lady don't suck dick. A lady don't suck cum. A lady just doesn't suck dick. You can't be a lady and Listen, once you listen, if Majority Harvey's doing all that shit to Steve Harvey, then she's just a freak. You know what I mean? She's just a freak. She has the image of a lady, but but the image of a lady is still better than the image of a slut. But again, a lady has class. A certain a lady's just not going to suck no man's pee pee hole. She's just not going to do it. She's not. She has a standard. She's not going to do it. You cannot be. There was a time where that shit mattered, but not in this climate. You either a lady or you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's just best if you're just gonna be a freak and you got the image of a lady because you don't dress as thottish, you still a slut. You know? so you know what I mean? Because you know who you really are. So in other words, I never really believed that comment. A freak in the sheets, a lady in the street. It's just like, okay, what does that really mean? Because you are what you are. You know what I mean? And I never liked that comment. I thought that comment was like a cop out. Um, oh wow, Arnetta, wow, what's going on, Net? Oh wow, good to see you, sis. Um, said nigga, um, these Muslims do better makeup than non-Muslim women. Yeah, they do. They do. They do. Their makeup is insane. But remember, that's all they can do. You know what I mean? They can't show nobody nothing. So, um, see, Nate, when women send you pictures, that's not the same like pictures on social media peeping, right? Yeah, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. I'm guilty to that. I'm telling them right now, I'm almost at the end of this, man. I've been doing it for a matter of fact, I'm a full month at the end of this month, but I did it for a little over a month, but I'm gonna give myself the full month and I'm gonna change my whole algorithm because it makes you feel lethargic, it makes you feel moody. It's just a fucked up feeling. It's like you can't even you won't be able to appreciate anything because your mind's always gonna every second of the day, it's like you're gonna be looking through them damn and you keep seeing more and more and more. It's like a revolving door of a peeping tom, and you can't touch anything. It's just it it's very bad. Um, Nubia Blake said, my sister gave me an exotic following dress, and every time I put it on, it would go crazy. Exotic flowing dress. Yeah, what exotic? You know what I'm saying? It's good to feel. Listen, I'm not saying it ain't good to feel sexy. I'm just telling you, the way to a man's heart is to be a whore. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Arnetta. Um, shout out to Rashida. Yes, yes, yes. I'm in the middle of a deep I'm in the middle of a you know hold on, change my profile. Um Nate, do an intervention after this month. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need one. Yeah. Yeah, it's very but it's really fucking crazy, man. And the crazy thing is you gotta remember this is why people rape. You know, a lot of these guys that you see doing these sex crimes is they're on social media and they're looking at this shit. That's not healthy. It's very, very bad. It's very bad. It's yeah. Yes. IG is soft porn. Full of bare ass and men who work out show their crotches off. I notice my left spirals even on there when I'm in control. Now see, that's interesting, right? Look what she just said. Miss Top just brought up a great comment. Full of bare ass and men who work out show their crotches off. I notice my left spirals on there even though I'm in control. Now see, as a woman, I didn't know that. See what I mean? So even the men are letting the woman get a little moist down there. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because so just imagine this, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, right? So let's just think where as a woman, you have an intelligent man that could turn you on versus a man that's showing you his crotch on social media. Now, for us, we don't give a fuck about getting turned on from no intelligent woman, right? But in your world, I've heard that can that can go just as far, right? So just imagine now, the men only thing he could do on social media is have a good body or have money, right? That's his option clearly because one of them's gonna work, right? Or maybe a guy that's rich turns you on. I don't know, but with us, the number one thing is a whore. Period. Period. You know what I'm saying? Social media is literally designed to make you be addicted, deactivate every now and then. You deactivate every now and then. You know, I don't know if that works. It's like that's like a person that's doing drugs and they say, "Well, I haven't did crack in 3 months." That kind of means they're gonna go back to it. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe I haven't did a crack in a year, but I took a break for a year. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That would be a little disturbing, right? Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's definitely. I would never. I don't know. I think that I think it's important now. Listen, that's another thing too. Another thing that I've learned that I won't ever do. The one positive thing they worked out of me is that I would never request a woman's visual ever again. I did it the last time. I never would. If you see the last video, I probably said, "What do you look like?" Turned out to be a troll. You know what? A lot of that shit came from me watching Instagram. I would never ask a woman that ever again. If you got it doesn't matter what you look like anymore. I don't even care. Because I got to the point, what I mean that is I don't want to turn YouTube, which it is, into a social media platform. Um, so it's not important. Shout out to Obi-Wan Step. It's not important now to see what a woman looks like because it's just irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like let's just think of it this way, right? If I'm on social media like I am now doing my if I'm on social media now doing my experiment, which I'm in the middle of it, right? Um what ends up happening is that you become a thirst trap. You start you start developing your ultra man mindset into the same thing. And now it's just not healthy, man. It's really bad. Um there was a woman here, she was commenting and she was a member. No, she wasn't even a member. I gave her a blue wrench. And then she said something to turn me on. I remember she said she's got that wagon, or she's back in that thing in that wagon, some shit. I was like, ooh. And it was weird because just as she said that, I visioned her, right? And then she showed a face, and the face looked familiar. She was like, oh, dark skinned men tell me I'm pretty for a dark skinned woman. I'm like, the fuck is you talking about? This picture was so incredible. I'm like, what man is telling you that? Then I said, why does this picture look familiar? And then I said, yo, follow me on IG. I gotta see what you really look like. And then she followed me on IG. She said she doesn't have Instagram. I'm like, all right, whatever. Right? Follow me on IG. I just wanna, because now I wanna hear your voice. So she followed me on IG and she puts up like 4 pictures and all the shit was different than the one that she posted. I'm like, oh my God. She got the shit from Google Images, right? So, so I was like, all right. So then uh she said, yeah, this is me or whatever, whatever. So I'm like, yo, so I left the voice though, like, yo, what's up? What's your voice? And she's like, oh, that would be creepy. I said, oh man, it's a troll. So at this point, I don't know if I'm talking to a fucking man. This is no different enough. I'm cool. Like if I seen you and I had the luxury of seeing you through a WhatsApp video talking to me FaceTime, then cool. But if we didn't make it there, fuck it, I'm cool. I'm cool with. Remember I told you about that? Yeah, I'm cool, and and this happened recently, and I haven't asked nobody since. So it's not even required no more because I feel like this: if you're interacting with a person like I'm doing with y'all now, that's all that matters, right? So it doesn't really, it's not really. So you don't want to scare people, and I think sometimes people are scared to even show their faces to me because they feel that I have a high, um, what's the word, a high demands. So that may play things too. So I'm guilty to that. To like, all right, I'm good. So you do learn some positive things. So the reason why I got on this is because I said if I was a therapist, experiments is the best thing to do, right? You experiment with things, and then you know what you do. And one of my biggest things that I love how they did that 30-day challenge with the McDonald's. How that guy ate all that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I thought that was a sensational documentary. He made that shit into a hit movie. I thought that was so dope. And I think those type of, I mean, I'm not going to share too many ideas, but those you could never go wrong with teaching people with a documentary of something that you did for 30 days or even a year. But once I finish this shit, I'm completely done with that shit. Yeah. Um Green Vegan said, Nate Jordan Atkins, she's a brown skinned dragon, a wagon, not the troll. Jordan Atkins. Oh, Jordan Atkins said she's dragging a wagon. Okay, yeah, she definitely did. See what I mean? That shit right there. I just thought of this onion fat ass. I said, damn, I wonder what she must look like. Then I had to catch myself. But either way, the fact that I got those two confused just now is bad. It's not good. So even as a married man, as a male, it doesn't matter. Like, when you love pussy, it's just gonna do it. And if a man is in a dick, it's gonna do it for him. It's very simple. Like, you know how to appeal to a gay man, and you're gonna know how to appeal to a straight man. So a man, period, you have to present your shit in a slutty manner in order for him to get instant gratification. It's just the truth. You know, it does it, you know what I mean? But in order to intrigue him with something that no other woman has done, you're gonna have to go the style route. That's the level now, because now it becomes a thing. And I learned that with women, even myself. I learned that if a woman sees a guy, like I seen this one dude yesterday in we was in Walmart, right? So I'm in Walmart, still, remember, as I'm in the streets, I'm still using my experiment. So this one dude had a pair of New Balance like I had on, but he had this color that was just very fruity, and it was a little oversized, and he had jeans on. I'm like, you know what? This is the big dude that a woman would probably look at and say, oh, he's tall, but he's doofy. And women don't like a doofy looking tall guy. Like, the way he had his shoes on looked like they were a size 18. Um, and he was rocking them like there was a size 18. It wasn't like he was looking like pres- presentable. He didn't stand tall. I learned that um a lot of women stare. So now I've learned that I get a lot of face stares, um, especially when I'm with my daughter. Um, they look me dead in my face, even if it's for 2 seconds, a second. But why is because a lot of men, and I know this because I don't see the competition at all. I don't see tall guys representing around. Um, Tall guys just don't rep. They did most of them just don't. So if a woman's just gonna be in a guy because he's tall rather than he's tall and he's got style, you know what I mean? I think that's the key. Um, Dapper Dan, for example, right? He's one of my biggest men in the game that I love that got style. So a guy would look at him and think, oh, that's gay. And I'm like, no, nigga, that motherfucker he just goes to bed waking up with style. He's been like that all his life. Like, I don't think he wears the same outfit twice. You know what I mean? Even if it's a bullshit outfit, he's always stylish. And this nigga's in his 80s practically. That's just, he's been a hip hop icon. He dressed all the drug dealers. A lot of people don't know that. So there's a man in the game called Dapper Dan that he's the one that styled hip hop. He's the one that styled it. He's the one that styled it. He's the one that made their clothings, and that's why he's like one of the biggest. I think he has like a big position in Gucci right now. and that was urban wear. But for men, if you look around you, knowing your competition is that the average dude just doesn't really put a lot into himself. So women kind of just deal with whatever comes to them. You know what I mean? It ain't like there's like a lot of guys really killing it out there. I think there's more. I just think there's less men killing it out there. So a man don't have the privilege that there's a man that sets the tone. Um, it just doesn't happen more. So men don't really have good role models for that. Um, so if a woman, if a, oh, thank you so much, Green Vegan. Damn, thank you, baby. You know, if a woman stares at me, a quick stare, even if it's a foreigner, I'm old school on this note still. I believe to be old school, that's when the men were more dapper. You get it? So I'm from that era. So whenever I see in a kid, I don't want to fucking have nothing to do with it. So that's what it is with me. Once I see my daughter, for Christ's sake, if she sees my pajama pants hanging off my ass or my little gym shorts walking around the house, she'll pull it up. She hates that. My daughter, 5 years old, she can't stand to see my damn underwear. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to be on point with shit like that because she has a good eye. She'll stare at my sneakers if it's something she never seen. She'll stare at a coat. She'll stare. So when we go to the store, there's this one little thing I love to watch her do. I love to see her pick clothing. Oh my God. You want to watch a woman in the presence of being sexy? Nothing better than watching a woman go through a female section of the store of clothing and grab stuff. Ah, that turns me on, man. So that's just with a grown woman. But to see my daughter embrace that, that shit is so dope. So there's a lot of different things, man. I think Morris Chestnut is the most consistent man that dresses well, stylist understands his best colors. I just think Morris Chestnut is a good image for a black man. I don't necessarily call him a guy with style though. Style would be somebody like, well, you could look at a guy that got style. I could tell you somebody that got style. Steve Harvey got style. His stylist is a beast. Okay, Steve Harvey's stylist right now is probably, and I know that's the stylist because he wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? That nigga got a stylist that's through the roof. But when I say style, Morris Chestnut, there's nothing unique about him. He's a good looking dude, but I wouldn't say style. That's like Method Man. Method Man is not a stylish man. He's just an image. You know what I mean? He's a good looking dude. So yes, they can dress him. They can put the clothes on him, and he's gonna be able to work it. That's all a stylist is. Listen, a stylist and a style is two different things. You know what I'm saying? So I know a man has. I know a man has style when he knows how to wear a fedora, beret, suit jacket, or something like that nature. Not typical clothes, right? Like in other words, listen, a man can have style and be simple. He could wear a t-shirt and jeans on all day, but then niggas sneakers are always super fresh and they just fit like it looks like it on a. It's like some people can wear a sneaker and it looks like it's on a model in a window. Like those models where they put the sneaker on when you go to the store and they put them in the window. You know. Thank you so much, Green Vegan. That's a sensational compliment. Um, corn blows your mind. That's what I think. That's a fact. Yeah. So what the women have to do right now is listen. You want to be slutty. You want to get some attention. Just go outside with some red lingerie and a garter belt and some red heels with a white fur coat and showing your ass. Yeah, you're gonna get the fucking attention. Niggas gonna stop you. May even cause a car accident. Or you want to go on that date tonight and come to the door with your co- your a jacket with no panties and bra on. Yeah, I mean you'll win him. You know, they'll be, oh, he won't respect you. Oh, the fuck he will. Yeah, he will. He will respect you. because everybody's doing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. The woman will stay with me when I'm with my daughter, but not either with your wife. They don't want to smoke. Yeah, that's a fact. That's Let me tell you what happens with the wife. In the school, they'll look me in my face because now if my wife passes by, they'll look at me in my face. Feel me? Like, let's say, for example, we're walking into the schoolyard and my wife goes first, she'll look in my face, but she's not gonna look in my face if my wife is behind me. So my wife's always in front of me, right? You know, if we do, if we're walking into a narrow center, you know, um, I'm a big guy, so she got to walk in front of me. And, we can't walk side by side because where we're walking ain't working like that, right? So if we coming out of the ramp, they can look, and a woman's slick. They could get a quick little ping, and then a guy, my eyes, but I always respond and say, "How you doing?" You never stare and be quiet because now she like, "Oh, her man ain't shit." Her husband ain't shit because he always looking at me. No, you say hello. You say hello because your wife's there. You always show present and be respectful, and then y'all could do your little thing from there. But you know, um, for me, it's a respect thing. You know what I mean? Like for a man attention, it's always fun to do it that way. But you know what I mean? I would never. I don't know how niggas do it. I know a lot of niggas do this shit, but I could never be in a position, man. And you're fucking a teacher, and you got to pick up your kid with you. It's one thing you fucking a teacher, and you ain't married, and you ain't with the woman no more. You're a single dad, but I don't really want no parts of that shit. You know what I mean? You do I see some attractive women there when we picking up my daughter? Shit, everybody's attractive in that motherfucker because they all walking in there with underwear. They all got tight ass pants on. Everybody's doing the same thing. Women don't understand that their footwear can be pornographic. You got a pair of slides on your feet with no socks, and you just got your feet done. You got some tight ass leggings. And you're sexy on top of that. That could be a little pornographic. It could be pornographic if you got socks on. Like woman attributes, they don't understand. Like just look at the Muslim woman, right? She can't do that. So if she's doing that shit, that she's out of league, right? So the simple shit that you may do that you don't think is a big deal is sexy. And it's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but you know, I'm not condoning it, but I think that, you know, when I finish this when I finish this experiment, it's gonna be another thing now, because now I gotta go, you know what I mean? I love Green Vegan's questions. Hold on. She said, Nate, how do you handle a woman who can't give you cat, you're a man? Um, I think you speaking in terms of like seeing the other parents at my daughter's school, or you talking about like having somebody that I'm working with as a model. It depends on what it is, because I can handle it depending on what I'm doing. I can't handle it if there's nothing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm working with a woman doing a YouTube, like I love doing videos, like I miss doing that. Oh my god, I think that was the best therapy ever in my life I've ever encountered. I don't know why I stopped doing it. We do good videos with a woman that I'm screwing. I just can't do it. It never works. Um, yeah, yeah, I stopped too much, Ken. That's why if y'all see me releasing these videos, just bear with me. If you see the videos and you see music behind it, that I love producing, man, because I have such a good eye. And now that I'm going through this whole thing with this experiment, it's now I'm seeing other things that I had control. Those were controlling because you could shoot a model. My models were getting naked right in front of me and changing outfits on the beach because it was too far. It was too far of a walk to the bathroom, and it would do nothing for me because I'm like, yo, the sun's going down. And once that sun is down, the video was over. It's not like the sun's gonna be up another hour. That's it. She gotta go home. Yeah. So to answer Green Vegan's question, um, how do I handle women who how do you handle women who would to give you cat, you're a man? I guess he's trying to say, how do I handle a woman that, you know, can give you cat? Okay, she said, I said, want, mostly speaking about women who follow you. Do they want to visit you? How do you not sleep with them? I gotta shoot them. I gotta I don't shoot them. I gotta do. We're gonna have to do content. We're gonna have to go out there and do a video shoot, a photo shoot. We're gonna have to do something in the field, something in the studio that's not a podcast. A podcast is not work. Like it's, I just, once I'm dealing with setting my camera up and all that, now we're at a whole different level. And now we got a clock against us. There's no clock against a podcast, right? So if she comes here and she's like, Nate, I want to do a photo shoot with you. I got 3 different outfits, and she's in a bikini. Yeah, I don't give a fuck if she's in a bikini. If she's in something sexy on the beach, I I could still execute that without desiring her. Um, Especially once we do video. Oh my God. Once we do video and I pick a song to put to that, and I got the sky looking the way it is, and that 5, 6, 7 o'clock, well, the time went up now, it's a little colder now. So once that little 4, 5, 6 o'clock sun starts coming down, oh my goodness. I won't even think about touching her. You're right. It has to be business involved. You know, like I said, podcast that I could, you could get drunk on a podcast and still smash, but you can't get drunk when you're doing photo photography and video, especially video, because I'm a big video guy. Because I live my mind as a video, you know what I mean? So once I stopped looking at people and creating film, and it's because social media fucked me up. It's too much, man. I can't. It's fucking me up. So once I get out that zone, it'll be different. Um, can I walk through Walmart and still be okay? Yeah, I could be a relatively cool, but it's that phone. The phone is gonna fuck you up. The phone. You're gonna get to that phone, and the algorithm is gonna be ridiculous. And the first thing that's gonna pop up on the algorithm is gonna be some slutty shit. So it kind of defeats the purpose because you can't. Like, in other words, you want to be in an environment as a man like that where you don't have the phone as the addiction. That's what I'm saying. Like, in other words, it doesn't make it better or worse when you're outside. It just makes it worse to know that you're gonna go home and fuck with that phone. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shimmy y'all. Um, so the great question: how do I not sleep with them? That's how I don't sleep with them. If you look at all the videos y'all see me posting now, um, I'm gonna post one a day. So don't take it as a thirst trap. This is just my work, and I value that because I miss doing that because that's production. See, the thing is, when you're doing this podcast shit and streaming, there's nothing to it for me because my personality is my personality. So I could do that shit for hours, but the process is so simple. I turn the lights on, open the laptop, and press the the mixer on, and then I just put the microphone, put the handset on my, excuse me, the headset on my head, headphones on my head, and I press go live. That's it. There's nothing to it. You know what I mean? But once you see me doing an interview and that shit was like required a live mic, and she had to sit down, and we were shooting here downtown Brooklyn. I had to find a location. There's not too much noise over there. There's no train noise. Like, that's a whole, like, now I'm a whole different person. So, that's my artistry. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, very good. Y'all can shoot the questions. So, it's like me. If I was, no man's not gonna look at an attractive woman, but it's gonna be easy to look at the woman dressed slutty. You know what I mean? Um, Character, because women will test your loyalty on purpose to see if you fall or bait, and that's wild out there. Yeah, they will. That's how come. What I do, I always do the gentleman. How you doing? How's it going? So when people see that you speak to everybody, she's like, oh, he speaks to everybody. But if you with your wife and your wife passes by and the woman looks you dead in your face and you don't say nothing, and you seeing this woman every day, you know what I mean? It that's how she gets you. Now you fall to the bait. You can wear shades. Shades are cool for men. Shades are definitely sensational to do because then they don't know what the fuck you're looking at. But it's a little too late for me to start wearing shades now in my daughter's school because I haven't been doing it, so I wouldn't even start that. Um, it's not necessary. But what is necessary is treating the people with respect. Hey, how y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know what I mean? They like that. Because now the only test they got now is let's see what he does when we see him in a bar or a Christmas party. Then you know what I'm saying. But even then, yeah, you're right. Women do. That's something I learned from women. Um, do you physically touch the woman during the shoot, or do they touch you through the? No, I never touch a woman through the shoot. Like in other words, let's just say I tell her how to dress, or like yo, put your panty up there or whatever, or even if your pussy lip is showing, I'm like yo, pull that over, I can see you. You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, shit like that. But I don't touch them at all. What I do touch is if it's like I'll show you. I'm gonna release the video today. There's this Brazilian girl that we used to do a lot of work together. She was like a nudist, and well, she's not naked on this thing because obviously I wouldn't have it on YouTube. But I used to, show her hair, help her get dressed in the middle of Times Square because a lot of people do photo shoots over there. Y'all know when the people be doing all those little challenges and dancing on YouTube reels and shit. There's the big red stairs. Everybody goes there. Anyway, I was doing this shit back. The video's old. You see my hair is shorter, and I had to guard her because there were perverts out there. So I had to be close to her, and when she's taking off certain shit, a woman's gonna flash her titties for 2 seconds if she's changing her top. So you gotta stand in front of her, shit like that, fix her hair. But yeah, I don't fuck around. So it's either or. If you listen, it's just very simple. If I touch them and we're fucking each other with there's no photo shoot. Period. I never did a photo shoot with a woman that I got physically fucked with. Never. You know what I mean? All these big photo shoots you see me with the woman and we did podcasts together and oh Nate, who's this? That's it. Who's that girl with? I ain't not believe. You know what I mean? I seen a lot of shit, but I never fucked with them. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say I ain't seen nothing. I seen some shit now, but yeah, yeah, yeah. It could go sideways. Yeah, I don't fuck. And it's not that I even tried shit. Listen, I'm passionate about getting that shot in there because I got shots of women now that I did 10 years ago and I'm still happy about it. I still show the people. So that shit's a big deal for me because listen, you should know one thing about me. Two things that I love to shoot is the landscapes and women. That's my shit. Skylines and women. That's my shit. That's what I like to shoot. Yeah, yeah, it's no joke. How much more people watch your model photo shoots that can inspire the section? Yeah, so I'm gonna put all those. I don't want to put them in membership because I want people to see it. And YouTube now, on a positive note, now they allowed us to use the music. So thank God. They don't pay us for it, but we can use the music. It's no strike. Some of the songs are very big. They don't allow me to use that, but I got this. If you want to know one thing about me, if you ever come to New York and visit and you want to do a, a a model shoot, just remember it's a video shoot. And forget it. Now that keeps me out of trouble because remember, now I'm in front of my software. I got a new computer now, so now I'm getting motivated to get into that because I had a better mindset then with that. This shit right now with this Instagram shit and Facebook too is just as bad. Facebook, Instagram is terrible. shit is ruined. It's just bad on your brain, man. You know, Nate, I learned so much on the videos you did with the high fashion editorial model videos. I think that changed my life. Wow. You see what I mean? You see, so think about this, Kara. Um, they say in life, don't stop everything. It is true. I used to go to these modeling shows and get invited to them and do interviews. And then I meet the models. The models, by the way, are the easiest. They got the best personalities on earth, man. Because everybody's scared of them. I miss working with them, man. But now it's been so long, I don't know if I'm, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because I don't know if the models now got into the doc shit. Because think about all the models I work with now. They're not modeling anymore. So I don't know. Well, I can't say that because, well, they're not modeling anymore for a reason. But the models that are modeling now, the real model, I'm talking the models that you talk to, tell us what you're wearing. She's telling the shoes. She's talking about the makeup, the hair, the clothes. I live for that shit. Turn around, spin around, all the above. But now you telling women to spin around and they got on underwear. That shit is, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But I could shoot a woman that way, whether you're in your underwear, whether you know, whether you're in a sexy bikini or a bathing suit, I could still shoot that woman on the beach. You see what I'm saying? I still could kill a photo shoot with that and and really do some incredible art with it because it's gonna be my physical. It what you see is gonna be my mind, my perspective. So that's what's dope about it. But who's to say, oh, photographer in 2025? Who the hell's doing that? Come here, darling. Open the door. Yeah, who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? So, oh, darling's coming in. Hold on. Hold on. Darling! Come here. Come here. Come here, dog. Yeah, so basically, shout out to Gil. You gotta look at it like this. Listen, um, what is it? Right? How'd you sleep, darling? hmm So what I'm gonna do now, I want y'all to understand this. What I'm gonna do now is join me on this join me on this this mission. Bear with me and see a difference. And again, if you're joining in late, I don't encourage no woman to be to a man's heart now, not in this climate, because you're gonna have to go slut with it. I can't see it. If anybody's seen anything crazy, I don't see nothing pop up. Shout out to the Green Vegan. I can't see it because I'm on the phone. Because I'm not on my thing. Uh, no, I think he's getting a cold. Um, so I'm gonna share a video with y'all with the model that I did in the middle of Times Square. And then it's just so much fun, man. But now that content in 2025 is gonna be nothing but oh, she's gonna be on IG. Um, I don't do that type of content. I wouldn't want to do that because you don't even need me to do that. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Everybody's doing this shit on their own. But a video, I'm just gonna show you how it was dealing with a woman getting undressed and stuff like that, and how we as male photographers deal with them. Um, but I will say, the main thing is I'm not condoning you not to be who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. But if you want to win his heart right now, um, that's the way to do it. Now, the downfall of it is just remember, like if a man has a privilege to have 5 women in his life, all going dotty with it, that's where it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? But if you got a man and you got him hooked because you putting your finger in his butt and all that and all this crazy wild stuff, and yeah, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way to do it, right? So, but again, do you want to be that? You know what I mean? Because if you a slut, sluts keep men. Just keep it stacked. They are. You know what I mean? And the culture right now is pushing the woman now to go crazy. Well, that's why Coyle Ray let herself go like that. Because Coyle Ray, you know, Coyle Ray is very she showed that, you know what I mean? She just went dotty with it, and that's not even her. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not her, but that's what sells, right? They say sex sells, but they ain't telling you it's not only because it sells, it's because, niggas is marrying that shit. Niggas want that. You know what I mean? Niggas want a whore, especially black men. They want that. They want it more now than ever. Oh, thank you, darling. Mhm. What? Yeah. Yeah, I have one. So, I never paid attention to Coil Ray until recently. I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good, but it's unfortunately working. Would I suggest it? No. I think I will be a sub for a month in the spirit and see what happens. Yeah, see what happens, because I'm gonna tell you something, vegan. You become that. The only problem is the pro is you're gonna see men don't money. You're gonna go crazy. The down of it is, as a woman, your minds are not equipped to deal with going full throttle. So 'cause now your feelings are involved, and being a slut and having feelings doesn't mix. That's the problem. With a man would marry a woman being a slut. A slut ain't gonna be able to deal with the fact that a man's mind is gonna want something else that looks like her every now and then either. You feel me? So, want me to turn it on? All right, hold on. So, yeah, it's pretty deep, man. But yeah. So just be aware. Really check out the videos that I do that y'all see. Um, you know, the ones with the videos, the solo videos with the girls just walking around, and it's a video to it. I may just have to name it I may have to just do it and name the artist. I think I'm just gonna keep it with the artist name and let the video just talk itself, because then YouTube can see that I gave the credit to, just in case they come back and change up, switch up. Let me get another one, darling. Can you come back from being a slut? Um, no, that's the problem. Especially if the word was out. It's almost like if the world knows it, or somebody knows it and gets wish of it, then you're screwed. It's almost like you could change. You can't be a lady, but you could, because now you got the slut behind you, right? So it's like Sarah J could never ever come back from being that, ever. There's nothing that she can do. She got the image, but she could never really come back. What is that? Okay. Now you think black women's? That's a great question. Like, we vegans killing these questions today. And Kara, um, oh no no no! What you call it is too? What's my man's name? What's my girl's name here? She's asking great questions too. This top. Um, the reputation is more critical for a woman. So if you're gonna be it, just stay over there. Um, um, yeah. So do you think black women's Opting for slut culture goes in the hand with having a white liver naturally. Now I'm hearing stories of black women going full throttle with it. No, black women. That's a great question. They'll never have the black woman will never have the white liver. That's the problem because the white liver is the white liver. So she's she's gonna compete with that and gonna lose. Because once a man has a freaky black woman, can't match that freaky white woman or Latin. There's no, you know what I mean? She's dangerous because that's her. You know what I mean? You can't play a person with their own game. With the you know you can't be competitive with a person with their own game, especially as a black woman. You just can't. So again, I don't condone it. I'm just saying, but if you want to know what's the secret to a man's heart, that's what it is. It ain't cooking, it ain't cleaning, it ain't none of that. Even when I tell you, niggas can sit there online, yo, you just want peace in life. No, he wants peace when you ain't thinking about the other nigga because he really want to be with you and marry you. Dog, don't mess that up. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. But stay tuned. Today we're just gonna go. I'll post a video of the photo shoot following this video, and then after that I'll post another music video. Again, all those videos are my. It's not my music. It's my it's my direction. It's my photo shoots. And I picked the songs to go with the video. I picked them, like, you know what I mean? I think of these songs and I think of the person and our vision. And so you don't have time to be like, yeah, we want to come over and finish it off. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you there have been situations that have been presented to me, but I'm proud to say I never did because it was all about, yo, you available today? Yeah, I could be out there at 2 o'clock. Perfect. And that's it. Once they tell me they're coming out here for the day, give me another break, dog. That's it. We're shooting. So to answer your question, black women's opting in for slut culture goes in hand. I wouldn't listen. The thing is this, right? If a woman's gonna feel like, well, damn, if I'm already over here to be a slut, I ain't gonna go back. Well, again, that it all depends on your reputation, right? If it's known that you was out there, then it's gonna be a little difficult. But if you can sneak back and try to clean your shit up, you know, Kara's basically saying that, you know, the fact that uh, black women are opting out to go for slut culture, you know, is she considered more or less having a white liver? And if men like that, is that just a good thing as well? Like basically, um, women are basically going in on this, and black women are going full throttle into the game. And you know, is this a concern? I'm like, yeah, this is a concern because what I'm saying. Um, Thank you, Dolph. This is a concern because you got to think about that position that we looking in life right now. It ain't working for sisters the way it working for that non-black woman. I told you, a non-black woman, she could play this slut shit. And even she gonna bail out in a minute. Because the trendsetters are getting bored with it now. The Amber Roses, the Kim Kardashians, they're trying to get back into style. Style is where it's at right now. Style is where you want to be at. So yeah. Yeah. It's concerning, Ken. It is. It is concerning. But unfortunately, that's what men want. Men want a slut. And men want to marry. So men don't want no lady. So don't get distracted. It ain't gonna be like that forever. But right now in this climate, get into style, man, because when this shit hits the bottom, that's gonna be a problem. Sorry you're not able to understand green vegan. Y'all are funny. Green vegan says stop using chat GBT and keep it simple. Oh my god, y'all are hilarious. Um, but yeah, so me as a man, I do notice a shift. And hopefully I make it to the end of the month with this, but I don't know. I may stop now. You know what I'm saying? But I give myself a full month, a full month, and we'll deal with that accordingly. And then you'll be able to see the real situation. So yeah, that's the way to his heart. If you have family members and they switched up, it's because his wife's a slut. A lady right now ain't getting no man compared to that slut. That slut will take your husband. Take a man, gotta watch that. When it's dressed like that and her Instagram is all that, yeah. That's why she got the followers. The men like it. All men, they love that. He could talk about, I don't want to see her twerking. Yeah, he don't want to see his daughter twerking. So yeah. So I hope I covered everything today, man. That's what it's about right now. Whore, man. The fucking whore got a lot of power. Attractive and slutty. Come on. Ain't no nigga turning that shit down. But y'all are funny, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. We'll talk later. Class is dismissed. And yeah. I urge women. Ooh. She said, I'll use Chat GBT if and when I choose to. I'm actually just this smart and never used it in these lives. Oh my God. Yo, now y'all got me wanting to stick around. Read the room. Love you, Nate. Oh shit. Oh my God. Yeah, so that's the epidemic we're facing right now. Being a slut is the way to a man's heart. Your husband likes that, and a non-black woman, a black woman. He may drag the black woman, and she nasty. Nobody want her ratchet ass, but he likes that shit. You know what I mean? He may not like it with her. Shout out to Nubia. Listen, you may hear black men, yo, black men don't like that. He don't like that with his own black woman, but he likes it with non-black. Don't let him fool you. He likes it with somebody. He gonna like that shit with a. If he don't like it with a black woman, he gonna like it with a non-black. If he don't like it with a non-black woman, he gonna like it with a tranny. Somebody gonna move him because man, that's what they want. That's the way to his heart is to be a slut. Okay. If you're a woman out here and you listening, you a slut and local, go tell that married man, say, listen, I could be your slut. He gonna be like, shit, okay, we gonna work this out. We gonna work this out. Hold on, let me tell my wife I'm gonna drop off work. I'll be right over. If you're a sister-in-law, if you're a sister-in-law and you like your husband, your brother-in-law, because your sister married him, you just tell him, say, listen, I'll be your son. He gonna be like, okay. He ain't gonna say, no, you're not. Ooh, yes, because why you trying it this early? It's giving hater. Oh my God, what's happening to y'all? Oh shit. Shout out to Miss Top. Yep, if you're a woman and you want to take a man from his husband, a man from his wife, all you got to tell him is, I'll be your whore. That's it. Unless you're unattractive and listen, if you're unattractive, you can't go wrong with that, right? So let's just say you're unattractive and you want to peel him, just generally. He may not deal with it, but you tell him you want to be his whore, forget it. You're like, oh shit, no problem. I'm telling you. Karen, Dream Vegas going at it. What happened? God damn, I thought that was good. Damn. Now, if you're an attractive woman, you already know the rules. You know what you got to do. All you're going to do is walk half naked, and you know that nigga is yours. Let's talk about it, Kara. Oh, you're a man. I get it. Oh, you're a man. Oh, shit. Whoa, what the hell's going on here? Shit, green. Oh shit. This is crazy. Hold on. I'll tell you one thing. I feel good talking about this. See that, Ken? See how it works out, Ken? As I'm talking, I'm feeling better talking about this because I'm living now right in the middle of this shit. You know, so I gotta get back to shooting. Kara blocked me and unblocked me. Y'all can't block each other. Y'all can't block each other. Just to let y'all know, because y'all both got green. I was about to say green wrenches, blue wrenches. Oh my God! Look at this. Hold on. Gail, Gail said it. Beauty's cut it out. She's right. I gotta cut it out. But this is the thing too. You know, how can these women win right now? Shit, you go to their line and see a sexy picture. That's they gonna get based on. That's the world we living in. Oh man, they going in. I'll have to. Well, I guess we'll be back later. We'll revisit this topic. So today I'm not gonna post no videos. I'm gonna post like one or two music videos and just watch. Those are these models that I worked with on multiple occasions that I've never touched. I've never fucked. You know what I mean? Oh shit, she said I don't do well to bullies. Oh shit. She called you a bully, Green. She called Green Vegan a bully. Oh my God. Ladies, what happened? The video became unavailable? Um, some of them are blocked in certain countries. I don't know why, right? Some of them. Oh shit. She said True pulled up. Oh shit. Yo, Green Vegan. Ken Thompson called you True. Oh shit. I want to ask y'all, did anybody see well they did. Carol said she's seen it. Did y'all see the music videos that I posted with the exotic models? He said True pulled up. True's here? Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Nate, okay, he said, nah, I said, oh, you ain't call her True. So who, you saying True? I thought you said that True pulled up because, what you call it, was calling her a bully. You remember the last time? Either way, you know you started this. Oh, well, last time, Karen went through the shit was with True. So I thought you were saying True pulled up like that reason. Oh, Lonnie says True back. Okay, I didn't see. I can't see some of these comments. I don't understand it. Green Vegas said True was here last week. Yeah. Oh, okay, I got you. The way that, Karen and them were going back and forth. Last time they went back and forth. I mean, I don't think they ever went back and forth, but the last time Karen went back and forth with somebody was with True. So I thought you was talking like that. It's crazy. Okay. Well, I got it. You woke me up, that's for sure. Well, again, this is the way to his heart right now. You know what I mean? But I'm not condoning to do it. I'm just saying that's if you want to do it, that's your option. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing out here. And niggas be like, "Oh, they single, whatever." I'm just saying. I mean, that's the way to get to them, being a whore. So, ladies and gentlemen, class is dismissed. You have a beautiful day. Peace.